This video will talk about foreign aid from the United States to Israel. There are efforts on the far right, the libertarians, and the far left always to get rid of foreign aid, and especially involving Israel, which has anti-Semitic connotations. So I just wanted to talk about why I believe, and so much of the U.S. Congress believes, that foreign aid to Israel is a very important thing. First of all, you got to put it in context. We spend, I think, about $320 billion a year defending Europe and Asia with our troops. And so the amount we spend in Israel, about $3 billion, with no U.S. troops, is just 1% of the whole budget. In fact, Senator Rudy Boschwitz, who was the senator in Minnesota for a couple of terms, was very close to George Herbert Walker Bush, president, and he told me that he told him the word Metzia, which in Hebrew means it's a deal or a find, that Israel was a real Metzia. It doesn't require U.S. troops. It's 1% of what it costs to defend Europe and Asia. We can station U.S. equipment. When Israel goes to war, it battle tests U.S. equipment against Russian equipment, used to anyway in the old wars. And Israel's the only democracy in the Middle East, an ocean of stability, and the U.S.'s best ally. So for all those reasons, $3 billion is very cheap, a Metzia, compared to the $320 billion or so we spend defending Europe and Asia with U.S. troops. And in addition to that, it's very important to understand that it's probably not right to call it foreign aid, since the $320 billion that we spend defending Europe and Asia in the United States doesn't come out of the foreign aid budget, but out of the military budget. So, and all the money that goes to Israel goes for military purposes, to help Israel defend itself against an ocean of Arabs that are hundreds of times its size and hundreds of times its manpower. In addition to that, Israel's got a very tiny, small army. It relies on its reserves in case of war, like the unprecedented surprise attack in 1973 by the Arabs on our holiest day, Yom Kippur. In addition to that, it's very important to understand that Israel is not just Israel. Israel represents the West, and the efforts directed by the tyrannical jihadists, murderists, elements of the Muslim world, not all Muslims, but the murderous elements of the Muslim world directed at Israel, are also directed at the United States. Iran calls Israel the little Satan and calls the United States the big Satan. And so, as George Gilder wrote in his brilliant book, The Israel Test, which I highly recommend you read, Israel's like the canary in the coal mine, and that as goes Israel, and as goes the West's defense of Israel, so will go the United States and the West itself. Israel teaches the United States all the time about how to combat terrorism, and we bring over our police and our security forces so Israel can help show what they've learned. One other thing to remember is that this foreign aid money comes back to the United States. Virtually all of it is spent buying U.S. equipment. So the money that we give to Israel actually comes back to the United States and buys products which helps U.S. citizens working for the defense industry and its related subsidiaries in producing these arms that are so valuable. The United States has been committed to maintaining Israel's qualitative military edge. If it doesn't have a qualitative military edge, it won't survive. You know, it's so clear, I think any rational person would recognize this. If the Arabs laid down their arms tomorrow, there'd be peace. If Israel laid down their arms tomorrow, there'd be 6 million dead more Jews. And so it's critical that the United States continue to help Israel. And that's why it continues to have such wide bipartisan support, because it is a real Metzia. Israel does not ask for the U.S. to send troops to defend itself, unlike Japan, Germany, South Korea. It simply says, help provide us the necessary equipment that we need. And then Israel tinkers with it, improves it, and then teaches the United States how they can improve some of the weapon systems that it sells to Israel. So all around, it's a great trade for the United States' best ally in the United Nations. And we thank God for the support of the United States. So for those people like Ron Paul who are against foreign aid and other libertarians, it's really a very unwise position to take. It's a minuscule part of the budget, and it does so much good to help not only America's best ally, but America itself.